Hello, Anthony. Hello, Sean. Thank you so much for having me on the sugar treatment. This is so exciting. I've been following this channel for quite some time now, and let me tell you, it's just so fantastic, and it's truly an honor to be here with you.
Hey there, and welcome back to the Sugar Treatment, where we bake and heal together. My name's Anthony, aka the Baking Social Worker. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and email me at thesugartreatment@gmail.com. Let me know what you'd like us to talk about here on the show. Today, we're gonna be making a delicious, healthy, vegan, gluten-free oatmeal cookie. It's delicious. Stay tuned for that. We're also gonna be talking to my very good friend Vero O from Mothers United Stay Empowered. She's gonna tell us all about postpartum depression. So Vera, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Let's get started.
My name is Vera O, and I am the founder of MUSE organization. MUSE stands for Mothers United Stay Empowered. And our main mission is to unite mothers for support, for healing, for self-empowerment, and to build a community of unconditional love to support motherhood.
Hi, so this is Sean.
I'm his husband. If you're new to the channel,
People probably know you, I know.
but if you're
they
not new to the
don't-
channal, you know me.
Yeah, if they don't know you, where have you been?
Seriously.
For real. So-
I have a YouTube too, so check it out, Sean Renzetti.
Don't be plugging on my
I'm
show.
totally plugging.
We have all these delicious ingredients here.
Yes.
Are you excited?
Not really, because this is supposed to be egg, because these are a vegan, oatmeal, healthy, chocolate chip
Yeah.
cookie.
Yeah, and they're gluten-free because we're using gluten-free oats
Okay.
and we're using oat flour. So
These sound
gluten-free.
delicious.
But this is the flax egg. So it's just flaxseed meal, and then you put a little water in it, and you let it sit, and then it turns into kind of like a gelatinous substance. It's really good. Be excited. So are you excited about this episode? Because
I
we have a
am.
special connection.
We do. Vera, she is on it, and she's actually my sister-in-law.
She's wonderful.
She is. She has this MUSE organization she's starting. She also has a YouTube channel, Soulful Beings, which has been doing awesome.
Did you say it's soulful
Soulful
beans?
Beings,
Correct.
yeah.
I thought you said soulful beans, and I was like, I don't think
Soulful
she...
Beans? You know, like the dancing beans?
like jumping beans.
Yeah.
All right, I have a lot of questions for Vera, so why don't we go ahead and start with our wet ingredients. Let's get them mixed up. First, we're gonna add our flaxseed egg, which is just 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal mixed with 3 tablespoons of warm water. We let it sit for about 5 minutes, and now it's a little bit gelatinous. We're just gonna go ahead and pour it in.
Next is a 1/4 cup of melted and cooled coconut oil.
And I've got a 1/2 cup of coconut sugar.
Then just 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
You know what time it is. It is
Hashtag whiskin' time.
Whiskin' time. Whiskin' time. Whiskin' time. Okay, can you?
I got it. Yeah.
Can you do it?
I got
So
it.
while you do that, why don't we go ahead and have Vera tell us what is postpartum depression?
Yes, postpartum is physical hormonal imbalance that affects your emotional and your mental state. Every mother goes through this, but some mothers don't even feel it because there's different levels of postpartum. Some are very low and some are extremely high.
I love that we're talking about this today because I do think that this is one of the things that doesn't get talked about enough when you have a baby, right? And we had Christy on the show not too long ago. You remember Christy?
Yeah.
She had a baby and she was telling us about her experience. And, you know, postpartum is something that affects 1 in 7 women.
Wow.
So it's very, very prevalent. And there's also this thing, it's not just postpartum, but it's peripartum. Have you heard of peripartum?
I haven't heard peripartum.
So peripartum is similar to postpartum in that it's a depressed feeling, but it can happen during pregnancy too. And so whether it's peri or post, it's affecting a lot of women, and it affects 4% of men. Fathers can experience a postpartum depression.
Wow.
But number 2, I just kind of wanted to go over some of the things that maybe people will feel, that women and maybe some men will feel when they're experiencing peri or postpartum depression. Number 1, you're depressed, right? You're not interested in things that normally would interest you. Maybe you're sleeping too much. Maybe you are, doing impulsive things, going out. There's all different kinds of symptoms, right? But there's also things that can happen. There are consequences for the baby too, because if you're a parent and you're going through all of these things, think about what the baby's going through, right? Maybe they're not getting fed on time. Maybe they're not going
Yeah.
to sleep on time. Maybe they're not being bathed correctly. There's also like, this is rare, but it does happen where parents can also sometimes have like an adversarial relationship with their child. They'll resent their child. A baby is a huge blessing, but it's also a huge burden in so many ways. And so there are sometimes parents that will have this adversarial relationship with their kid where they want to hurt them or they want to neglect them. And of course we don't want to encourage that, right? Like we want to make sure that we are addressing this, because it doesn't mean that the parent is a bad parent.
It's identifying it.
Yes, and if you're having those thoughts, it doesn't mean that you hate your child.
Mm-hmm.
It just means that you're going through a hard time and you maybe need some extra support. I think what we need to do, we need to move on to...
I'm just here for the cookies.
You're just here for the cookies. You are doing a great job, but I think we need to get the dry ingredients together.
Okay, I can handle that.
Why don't we move on to the dry ingredients, and then I have so many more questions for Vera.
Okay.
First, we're gonna add 3/4 cup of gluten-free oat flour.
Now I'm doing a 1/2 cup of gluten-free rolled oats, right?
That's right. Next, we're gonna do a 1/2 cup of shredded unsweetened coconut.
1/4 teaspoon of salt.
And last, we'll just add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. You're also gonna mix in a 1/2 cup of vegan chocolate chips. Okay. While you do that, we're gonna go ahead and ask Vera, what, if any, experience do you have with postpartum, and what was it like?
I personally experienced severe postpartum twice. My first one, it came about 6 months after my first child, and my second one came within 3 months after having my second child. And the things to look for in postpartum is, number one is the feeling of loneliness. You're feeling like you're taking on the entire world and you just feel completely alone. Number two is depression. You have no motivation to get up and take care of your child, to take care of yourself, to take care of family. You just kind of want to lock yourself in a closet and just stay there. Number three, I would say definitely mood swings. You know, it's very easy for you to get frustrated and triggered and just very negative mood swings. Like you really don't care, not only about people around you, but you don't even care about yourself. My first postpartum was actually so severe that I ended up in the hospital from an act of suicide. And my second postpartum was pretty heavy as well. I was going through such mental trauma, such mental unclarity, that it almost led me to file for divorce with my husband.
So that was intense.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know the details, but I do remember when Vera was going through this with my brother, and we just didn't understand at the time. And you're like, why is she, going through this? She just had child. She should be so happy.
There's judgment.
There's judgment.
Yeah.
And because this wasn't a topic of conversation. Like, I think it's very important to educate about postpartum. Can we just say, I'm bringing it up right now, Britney Spears, total meltdown? I think it's postpartum. Postpartum. She just had her babies, and the next thing you know, she
It very well
and the
may be.
media decided what they wanted the narrative to be, but I bet you it was that.
Clearly we have a fan in the house. But yes, okay, so yes, postpartum is very misunderstood, and I think that unless you're going through it, it's very hard to understand why.
Mm-hmm.
People just assume, you have this beautiful baby, you have this beautiful husband, why on earth wouldn't you just be happy with that? Why can't, why are you feeling suicidal? Why are you feeling like you want a divorce? It must be you.
Yeah.
Which is so awful, because it's not like this woman just grew a baby in her for 9 months and is going through all these changes, and here we are now pointing the finger at her saying, you crazy.
Right. It's nuts, because I feel like society does that to women a lot.
Yeah, sorry girls.
Yeah.
Sorry ladies. All right, Sean, why don't you go ahead and take the cookie scoop, put the cookies on the cookie sheet, and I'm gonna go ahead and top with some extra chocolate chips, because you need extra chocolate chips.
Got it.
Looks great. Now we're gonna go ahead and bake in the oven at 350 for 9 minutes. So you just heard what Vera went through and the severity and intensity of those issues. I'm curious about what she did to get better. So Vera, what did you do to get better?
What helped me getting through my postpartum both times is I asked my friends to come and see me and be with me and help me with the baby and help me with house chores and just spend time with me. I also did a lot of meditation. I started doing some therapy, counseling, talking to somebody always helps. The number one thing is definitely some love and care, some me time, whether it's a spa day, a massage, your nails, just a moment to take care of myself.
I think that we like to try to overcomplicate things a lot of times, especially when it comes to mental health, when like the truth is the answer is usually pretty obvious and simple. Usually when you're going through something, it just means that you need an added layer of support. You just need something else.
Ask for help.
You need to ask for help, right? And some people find help in counseling and therapy.
He says that to me a lot.
Yeah. Well, you have a difficult time asking for help. You do, which is a whole nother episode. Maybe we should do that next. But, some people find help in therapy and going to counseling. It sounds like Vera did in some ways. But also there's the meditation, right?
Taking
that's really
time for herself.
Taking time for herself, making sure that you are not feeling like this baby is dictating every moment of your life, because that sort of feeds into that resentment. So the cookies are almost done. I smell them and they're going to be so good. I'm really
I
looking
hope
forward
they're
to them.
good.
They're going to be good.
These are vegan. We'll
Have
see.
I ever made something that wasn't
We
good?
were vegan though for a little while, and I feel like my taste buds have changed though, because I was like, everything vegan is so good, and now that I'm not vegan, I have vegan stuff. I'm like, what was I thinking?
Why don't we go ahead, check on the cookies, and then we're going to come back, and I have one more question for Vera. All right. These look good. They just need to sit in the pan for about 10 to 15 minutes so they can cool. While they do that, Vera, why don't you tell us, for any of our viewers who are or know someone that might be struggling with postpartum, what advice would you have for them?
So if you are someone who's going through severe postpartum or any level of postpartum really, or if you know someone who's experiencing postpartum, make sure you reach out to someone to come and help you. You don't have to do everything by yourself. Remember, it takes a village, and that's something that motherhood has forgotten about ever since we became single family type of living. We forgot to call on our friends, our mothers, our grandmothers, whoever you have. Let them come and help you. You need to rest when the baby is resting. You need to take care of yourself as much as you take care of the little ones. That would be my number one advice to you. Ask for help and allow the people to come into your life to help you. Meditation, yoga, spending time in nature are also amazing, beneficial ways you can kind of help your postpartum. So I hope this helps, and I want to thank you guys so much for reaching out to me and for having me on the sugar treatment. I love you guys so much. Sending you all my love.
They're done.
They're done.
How do they look? Just first impression.
They look okay.
They look okay.
They look okay.
They look freaking
We
amazing.
will find out what they taste like,
They
and
look
I
good.
will be honest.
They're flipping amazing. They look good. They look good. They look good.
Do they look that good?
They look good. I don't know why. This is like my new
We'll go for it.
Some additional advice: if you know someone, if you are or you know someone that's struggling with postpartum, check in with your doctor. That's one thing that doctors. I have a friend who just had a baby, and she was saying that ever since the baby came out of her, no one really cares about her anymore. And I think that that's really common in when people have babies, is that the focus turns to the child and not the mom who just went through this like incredibly traumatic experience of birthing a human from their body.
Yes.
Like I went into the full stance here.
And
because you
think
have
about
to.
everything that the woman body goes through to have that child and the recovery.
Yeah. And then there's breastfeeding.
You want to talk about superheroes in real life?
Look at that. I'm gonna go ahead and put some resources to any and all things postpartum in the description of the video. We're also gonna put where you can find Vera in the description of the video. Remember, her YouTube channel is
Soulful Beings.
Soulful Beings. Make sure you check that out. She's been having a lot of success over at Soulful Beings.
And Instagram is MUSE.
MUSE, yes, again, which stands for Mothers United Stay Empowered.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll put the link in.
I got it. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel.
Yeah.
Like this video.
Like it.
Email me at thesugartreatment@gmail.com. Let me know what you'd like us to talk about here on the show. So, we've made it. They're really good. Don't you think?
For being healthy.
They're so good. I can't believe that you're giving me shade.
I'm not giving you shade.
They're so good. I
They're good.
love these because the texture, it really is that coconut that you put in there. It kind of gets a little crispy. And then it kind of has like this delicious like vanilla-y.
Yeah.
They're so good.
I'm not a coconut fan, but you can't even taste the coconut.
You're also not an oatmeal cookie fan.
I'm not.
Like,
but they're
so
really
this
good.
is this
They
was
are.
a steep climb. With
You're not
you.
having one?
Well, yeah, I was eating all of the remains of the cookie that you have decided to let fall on the counter. Anything else you'd like to add?
Just remember, Britney Spears went through it.
And if Brittany went through it,
And got through it.
what? What does that mean?
So can you.
If Brittany and her team can get through it, so can you. All right, folks, keep it sweet.